Virtually Lost, Julian, Robert, we're here to talk about the NieR Church.
Yeah, that's all we're talking about today.
Pretty
If you want,
much.
if
That's really it.
you want to hear about anything else, I'm sorry. I don't care.
This has literally been what has controlled my entertainment or my consumption of media for like last week. I've just been keeping up with this
Awesome.
timeline of events.
Yes, and we have it all laid out. I spent like 3 hours laying out the whole timeline of events. I went on Reddit and compared times and I even marked which subreddit each of these like events took place in.
This
I
man was cataloging the events of
Yeah,
what was happening.
I went hard. This is
He
kind of
was
my
on
thing.
the
If
scene.
if you don't know, I'm obsessed with ARGs. I've followed ARGs since I was young. I think my first big one was the 10 Cloverfield Lane one. Remember that one?
I don't remember what it was exactly.
You remember the movie, right?
Yeah, I remember the
Yeah.
movie.
Well, there was a whole ARG because they had done one for the first Cloverfield movie, which was actually like a pretty old, like recognized one. Like a lot of people liked it. It was the time of like when ARGs were kind of popular with like the I Love Bees one for Halo 3, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was like how like this company was the reason why this monster was showing up in the movie and stuff like that. So
Wait, so can you recap what the NieR Church was? Because I actually told you.
I had seen something about it on Twitter, but I didn't understand what it was. I just saw something about a church or whatever, and I was like confused. And then until you told me it was some kind of like ARG kind of thing. So it's actually started about a month ago. Actually, well, let's go with the timeline. Okay, so we're gonna get started with this. Are you ready? Are we all ready? Because
Yeah.
this is gonna be like an hour of talking about this ARG, and I'm about to go in deep. I'm about to get lost in this world. Are we ready to go down this rabbit hole, Robert?
Yeah. Well, technically, we should call it the incident, not the ARG.
Right, exactly. It's an incident. That's true. Okay, so we're gonna start off. It's June 10th of 2022. It's about a month ago for us. SadFutago is an account that's created on Reddit on this day, June 10th. Futago means twins, by the way, in Japanese, just so you know.
It'll come into play later.
Yes. It makes its first post in not the NieR subreddit, but the NieR fan art subreddit.
Wait, really?
Yeah. NieR fan art. And asks simply, how do you open the church? That's all they ask. Obviously, it doesn't gain too much traction. There was a comment that I think said, only you know how to do this. Like, none of us know what you're talking about, right?
I will say I follow most of the NieR subreddits, and there are some like posts that just seem nonsensical, and
right.
you just are like, what the hell is this person even talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So also, they repost the same post, their first post, on the NieR Automata game subreddit as well. So we continue on. On the 14th of June, he moves on to posting a screenshot of the church. It only shows an empty church. It doesn't show any of the kind of things that we would see later. It's empty church.
Empty church
at an angle.
In the copied city in NieR Automata.
City. Right. He doesn't show any. Well, he doesn't even show that it's in the copied city yet.
You can kind of tell by the architecture, though. Like, that's how the copied city looks.
Right. So just white, empty church. Then, June 15th. So this is the day after. Starts posting on NieR. Just NieR. It states that he got through the church in the copied city after fighting Adam. And he reposts the same pictures he had posted the day before in the NieR Automata game subreddit. All right. Then, on June 18th, he posts the first video. And this video wasn't captured. He was straight up videotaping the TV.
Really?
We haven't even advanced in technology yet. We were just straight up captured, like videotaping the TV with like a phone or something. And he only goes to the point where he's opening the door. So he goes into the copied city where you fight Adam. Afterwards, he goes to this kind of area where he's fighting some robots, the typical enemy of the game, and then there's just a door. He just opens a door. This is when people start to like freak out. That video is posted on June 18th, and then we don't hear anything from him until July 25th. This is when things start really kicking off. This is when like we started talking about it and everything.
Yeah, this is when it was trending on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. So he posts his first captured video. So this is like how normally you see videos. This is a captured footage
Humans in
video.
2022
Yeah,
capture
exactly.
games.
Yeah, exactly. So this is our first captured video, and it's posted on r/NieR. He shows himself going into the door and entering this sort of revolving hallway. That kind of it reminds me. I don't know if you've ever seen the game Control, but it's very similar to the game Control. It's like these weird architecture moving in very weird ways. But we haven't even actually seen the door or the church in motion yet. There's been no
Yeah.
posting of the church. That's July 26th. This is the big one. This is when we get to a point where SadFutago posts a video of going into this church that he had shown a screenshot of earlier, and he goes in and shows when he goes in, it plays a cutscene like you would normally see in any other cutscene, just a cutscene, and it shows this girl like it doesn't even look like a girl, it looks like this like doll of like this girl doll
It,
like empty. Go ahead.
this goes back into the lore side. So like Julian's handling like what happened event wise. I
Yeah.
kind of was handling like the lore because that's just what
Right.
we both
Right.
like doing. So that one is clearly Yona from NieR Replicant, the previous game, and it looks exactly like when you first find her inside of a temple in NieR Replicant, which kind of starts the events of these games.
Which is also NieR, the original NieR.
Yes.
It shows this girl with a flower growing out of her chest, I think, and a kind of like dark pixelated monster that SadFutago calls Bloby, a Bloby monster.
Bloby.
Yeah,
Put some
Bloby.
respect on that man's name.
Right. And just to note, he is playing as A2 in the first big video.
That's actually important, yeah.
That's actually important because there's a chest that can only be opened by 9S. So he would have to come back to that area playing as 9S. So he can't open this chest that's like the only thing that he can interact with in that scene that he's currently in.
The people were very adamant on open the chest, like play as 9S, get the chest open so we can see what the hell is inside of it. Because like, right. Yeah, that's the only interactable thing. And the only other things that's of significance on the first video is there is a bird, was it a bird or a place for birds to just chill and get water? I'm forgetting on their name.
Yeah, a bird bath.
Bird bath. Yes, there's a bird bath on one side of the cathedral, and then also during that first initial cutscene, you also see a book, which is a Weiss, another character from NieR, float up off the screen.
Yeah, right. So you see that.
So yeah, the community wants to know what's in the box now.
Right, exactly. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
All right, so July 27th, another captured video. Goes back to the church. Oh, by the way, that video that was posted on July 26th, I think that quickly became the most upvoted post in NieR and the NieR subreddit of all time highest rated post. Next day, they come back to the church as 9S. They open the chest, and then there's a message that pops up quickly. They like go over it really quickly and talks about Yona from NieR Replicant.
Yeah.
Are we good there?
Yeah, it's mostly her dealing with the sickness, which is in the original game.
Right.
Nothing
so
really.
It seems like a doctor's like analysis or something. That's what it. Yeah, that's what
the company behind it. Because I can't, without spoiling NieR, there is a company that was in charge of Yona's health, and so it was kind of a record log of her current state.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And then after they read that message, Bloby becomes hostile and kills SadFutago.
Yeah, that man got bodied.
Yeah, he got bodied and pretty hard too. SadFutago comes back later that same day, and posts a video of himself beating Bloby and showing that the bird feeders, you can interact with them after you defeat Bloby.
Okay, wait. Before you go any further, you have to talk about the community at this point, because the NieR modding,
this is when
I believe it is the NieR Reddit, or the NieR modding Reddit, or Discord, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
They were all waiting for him to try to beat Bloby. Like, he posted like just a text Reddit post saying like, "Oh, I'm trying to beat him," like, but he's quite difficult. And so the community in Discord we're all singing Weight of the World, the ending theme for NieR Automata, just waiting for this guy to drop the next video. It's just freaking ridiculous.
And also, just technical stuff that happened. He then posts again a text post saying, I beat him. The video is taking forever to upload.
Yeah, he said he deleted Terraria off his computer because the file was so large.
Yeah, he does.
And then we should also say, on the Square Enix side, I will say, because it is Yoko Taro and Yosuke Saito, those guys are like the most chaotic, neutral kinds of individuals. So they neither confirmed nor denied any of this. They said we can't talk about our products. Because even as a brand, you wouldn't deny or confirm this. Like, you would never deny if it isn't you, because that's just bad marketing. Like, there's hype about a game that you had no like involvement on. So why would you cut this hype down?
Right. It's hype for a product that's already been out for ages. It's like, it's just, honestly just good for your product. He also says that if you need any more information, refer to my Twitter bio. My Twitter bio. And it just says, I do not comment on any of my products.
Yeah. And then Yosuke Saito.
Chilling.
Yeah, that was Yoko Taro. And then Yosuke Saito is like, I forget what, he has another big role in the game. But he says, this sounds like something Yoko Taro would do. And another interesting thing was, when people found out about this church, was it goes back to a year, January 2021, when someone found a way to get to the ending of the game, like near the beginning, one of the first missions.
Yes.
And Yoko Taro commented saying that, like, he said like 4 years later, basically saying that like someone found this secret after 4 years, and people were saying that's the final secret of NieR Automata, which is one of the controversies.
And also that person, which I know that person, I don't have his name on hand. I think it might be in my notes later, but he was actually a big part of the discussion regarding SadFutago, the SadFutago incident. So he was kind of going through, almost trying to debunk the fact that this was even a thing. He was kind of insinuating, his theory was always that it was like some kind of mod. So that was his theory, because he had already known that he himself had already found the final secret or whatever. And it was officially confirmed by Square Enix.
So we should probably say like the possible outcomes at this point, because people were saying, A, it was a secret and no one had found it up to this point, which was like would have been crazy, ridiculous. Yeah, it would have been crazy. Yeah. Because also something about this game was that they said that this was their PlayStation was on 1.0, was not connected to the internet, so it wasn't something that got updated. So people were saying, oh, maybe it's something to only do with the base game without updating.
People were even looking at the actual, because I think at some point he said he was French Canadian.
Yes.
So they were saying that it's like this one version. You had to get this version of the game and then play it at its 1.0 state, which technically you can do. Usually the discs themselves have the 1.0 states on them, and you just have to like install it fresh or whatever. So technically you can do that. But
second option was, it was an ARG by Square Enix to like promote upcoming like DLC, maybe a new game.
A lot of people were saying that it was to promote the Switch port that was about to
I would be more upset if anything happened. Any outcome, if it was a Switch port, I would have thrown hands. I'm sorry, but
it's coming. That's why people thought it, because it is already coming.
Yeah. But if that was like all to build up an already announced Switch port, my goodness. Yeah. And then 3 was a mod.
Very elaborate mod.
A mod that
I've heard people also say crazy stuff like, this is like a secret that only one copy of the game had. And SadFutago is the one person who had it.
Yeah, those people are crazy.
Crazy theories.
The mod one was interesting though, because the modding community of NieR said, a lot of them said, nothing like this is possible, because like
we don't have the capacity.
Yeah, we don't have the technology to replicate this.
Yeah, because like up until this point, apparently the NieR modding scene was like performance fixes and like kind of like bug fixes and stuff like that, but nothing that involved like creating new scenes or anything like that. It wasn't never anything this involved.
Yeah, because I guess the game is made on its own engine. Like they said, if it was like a game like on Unity or something, it'd be a completely different story. But since it is like Platinum Games / Square Enix's own engine, then it's like something that they're not capable of doing.
Right.
So like those were like the possible outcomes at this point.
But I mean, the modding theory like went deep too. Like there was people saying that it was just a rogue dev who like had access to the tools, making this to mess with the community or something like that. So it was like even the theories that were there branched off into other separate theories.
I think the most absurd one is the one copy is just has a random church, and also like
it's personalized.
Yeah, that one is also crazy because you'd also, if that was true, that personalized copy would have to have become a devout fan who would check on all these walls in the copied city that have no indicator of a door. Like it would have been the most crazy shit if this thing actually was true. If that part was true.
Yeah, but Yoko Taro is so eccentric that people were like thinking that this is a possibility. It's actually possible.
That's why I said this guy like embodies like chaotic neutral energy. Like he's here for the ride. Like he's here for the ride. That's all I'll say.
Yes. So it was pretty crazy.
So now we got to the point with the birds.
Right.
The bird bath.
The bird bath. Right. So SadFutago, like after beating Bloby, goes to these bird feeders, realizes that he can interact with them now, and there's text, and I believe in Japanese.
In Japanese,
the game is it's the English version.
It's the English Canadian version of the game.
English Canadian version of the game, and then that text post is in Japanese.
Yes,
and then apparently, what people found out very quickly is that this was a message that was in replicant, and that if you answer incorrectly, you can't progress in the story. So of course, SadFutago picked the wrong choice. Picks the wrong
option 3 times, by the way.
Right. So nothing happened. That video ends with nothing really happening because he chooses the wrong option.
Also, do you remember his comment on that post of the video?
I'm not sure.
He says, all of a sudden the game text is in Korean, like referring to the Japanese dialogue by the birds, which is, for replicant, it's why did the humans perish? And the first option was incorrect, and then the second option is because of I believe it's like the black. Oh my god, I'm blanking on the actual text. Because of a sickness. Yeah, it's like sickness. Yeah, some kind of sickness. Black scrawl. Yeah.
Black scrawl. Yeah. So yes, that all happens. I'm sure people were probably mad or like, why did he not choose the right choice or whatever. Some people had said that SadFutago had always claimed that he was kind of like ignorant to some of the story bits or whatever, and that he never actually. I looked back and he never actually says that he doesn't know about lore. He just came off as kind of ignorant because he's like asks all these questions or whatever.
That the birdbath one is when I personally scratched out the first route, or like the first possibility of him being like, this is something by chance.
Yeah.
Like, because in my opinion, if anyone all of a sudden sees text, I would just pull up my phone. Like, I feel like any logical person would pull up a phone and try to translate what the fuck is on the screen before they start posting saying, hey, this random Korean, aka Japanese, is on my screen. What does it mean? And so to me, it was between an actual mod, unlikely, and an ARG. I really believe it's an ARG.
Yeah. Yes. And that's what a lot of people started believing once this happened. People were I think that was the most prevailing theory once we got, the fight with Bloby, and stuff like that. That was, I think, the prevailing theory.
And then the bird part was actually another interaction where it's like, this guy is clearly trolling because he picks the first option 3 times. And it's like, come on, man. This is like it's like mouses in a maze have better like learning capacity than like if that was actually a person.
Yeah. And so that's what we get for that day. And then this was like late at night. I remember this video coming out. It was like pretty late at night, if I remember.
Yeah. That one was late because I remember I hadn't seen it that night. You messaged me and I checked the next day.
Yeah. Okay. Then the next day, this is when I wrote this. SadFutago comes back again with 5 new pictures. Not videos, pictures. And these were the descriptions in this order. It was Z, E, 3, 4, and Zinnia.
This is when I went off the deep end, by the way, like on the lore end. These pictures, because this included Drakengard. This is when I fell off.
Yes, exactly. So we got pictures of these stone like statues like protruding everywhere in a way. And if you have ever seen Drakengard lore, you know immediately who these people were.
Yes.
They were all pictures of intoners, which is the bosses of Drakengard 3. There's figures like this in other Drakengard games, but these were clearly the ones from Drakengard 3.
Yes, this is like this is basically like final boss.
Yeah.
Like is shown, and this like, is there anything more you want to say before I go off on the lore on this part?
No.
Oh, do you remember what? Okay, so Zinnia is from the original copies of not or 2B and 9S, like they're robots or automatas, and the original robot, I believe, of 9S was someone called Zinnia, so that's where that name came from. 3-4 people speculated was, well, the 3 was for Drakengard 3's characters, and then 4 like possible sequel, and then ZE people were assuming it was 0 because that is the main
character of Drakengard 3.
Yes. So it was the pictures of those 5 characters and then a flower in the middle. And I kind of went off the deep end because one of the main characters, or one of the main antagonists in NieR Automata is Adam and Eve. And Eve gets a tattoo or gets symbols when he gets like in an enraged state. And one of the tattoos on his chest is is a symbol from Drakengard 3's Cult of the Watchers, which
technically Watchers are something that's even talked about in Drakengard 1. The main antagonist of Drakengard 1.
Yeah. Actually, Drakengard 3 is a prequel to 1, so like that's
exactly
where So the Cult of the Watchers is a significant one for the Drakengard series. And one of the things that was actually brought in a collector's edition of the Drakengard 3 game were short novellas, and in one's novella, it's a short story of her and her brother One. They're both called One, so I'll say brother One, and then One is the sister, who is the main character of a main character in the game. Brother One says he's gonna make a church for him and his sister alone, like one for them specifically. So people were like going apeshit. I was going apeshit, writing this down, like piecing this all in a doc. One of the things that came was, I have to spoil Drakengard 3. Because at the end,
slight spoiler for Drakengard.
This is actually pretty much the spoiler for Drakengard 3. But I know a lot of people won't play the game because it doesn't run well. So Drakengard 3 ends with the pictures you see are all sealed, and a character called Accord, who records and observes all the events within the NieR and Drakengard lore or universe, says these characters were sealed away in a different dimension. However, there is a chance the seal may break and the flower will rampage once again. So when I saw those pictures, I was like, "Oh shit! This is it. This is possibly gonna game, right? We're possibly getting Drakengard 3 stuff, like characters and everything, back into the NieR world again, because that's also Drakengard 1 kind of plot." And then she also says at the end, she believes she will meet with Zero once again. One of the things that's interesting is also Accord is also mentioned in the games of Replicant and Automata. In Replicant, she's actually in Yona's diary, which are like a cutscene, or not cutscene, a loading screen. It's like it shows a diary entry of Yona, and one of them says she meets a traveling merchant named Accord. And then in Replicant, you actually find out that the arms dealer at the Resistance camp, their supplier is actually Accord. So everything was kind of piecing together. And I was completely this is ARG. There's too many pieces that are connecting. Right.
And it's too complicated. It's too crazy. It's too much. It's too much stuff. And then the finale, I believe this is the next day.
It was a stream at 1 a.m.
Yes. A live stream where this area that we had seen in the pictures was shown. And then a screen at the end. It was only a couple minutes long, 9-10 minutes long. And a splash screen saying, "Thank you guys. Sorry for bothering you, but this is just a mod."
Yep. Right before the stream, by the way.
Yeah.
An hour before the stream, he changes his bio to this is not a mod, or this is not an ARG.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not official. This is not an ARG. So, like immediately before the stream even happened, people were like, "This is a tragedy." Like they were pissed. I will say some people got way too pissed.
Yeah, they did.
And when I saw that, I will say I was huffing a bit of copium. I was like, you know what?
Like,
maybe
it's what he would say. That's exactly what Yogotaro would say.
Yogotaro just trying to fuck around with us. Maybe if I watch the stream, because I was playing League at the time, so I was like, I'll watch the stream. And then the screen pops up after they show them fighting different character models, which is basically kind of showcasing the mod. And it's like, thank you for tuning in. And it was apparently like a majority of the work was done by like 3 people.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Pretty crazy. And apparently it was all done in like Blender and stuff like that. And they had some open source tools that they were using that they were going to release, I think, right?
And then also after they thank you for watching screen, they showed the Discord messages between them, like planning this whole thing. They came up with this idea of like the church in January of this year. So this has been like a lot of work, and I have a lot of respect for him. Like I know a lot of people were upset, and I'd say you could be upset for a little bit, but you can't say you didn't enjoy the ride. Like
exactly, that was the whole point, was the ride.
Yeah,
I mean, look, we just went how long have we been talking about? Literally like 30 40 minutes.
Probably like 30 minutes.
So it was a whole experience. It was really fun, actually, genuinely.
Yeah, because it was just like
and if you looked back, you could tell that there were things that kind of pointed out that this was a mod. Like for the fact that there was no new content that they made, really. It was all kind of reused from other parts of the game and kind of like all created, all brought together. And I think even the church was something that was in the game, but it wasn't used.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. It was all just kind of like there. Like they didn't use like new voice clips, obviously. And everything, I think things were even taken from Drakengard 3 for that part of the whole.
Yeah, the images
incident.
were straight up Drakengard 3.
Yeah, there were some points where he posted some comments on accident that made it look like made it seem like he was trying to tell everybody that it was like he was like it's either a mod or new content or something. But people were like, "Are you supposed to be posting this with your alt or something like that?" Because it didn't seem like he should be commenting that, right?
We also have to mention SadFutago at random times. Like when people are waiting for like him to fight or finish the fight with Bloby, he would randomly start posting on cosplays like this or cosplays or fan art like this is great, this is amazing. Like just kind of
I like this. There was one where he was like, I like this. Yeah. Because it was in the most critical point in between, like it was between the Bloby fight or something. He just posted on some random like fan art, like I like this.
Yeah, people are like waiting, like refreshing the NieR subreddit, like waiting for the next piece, and this man just tweet or just posts or comments, I like this.
Yeah.
And also, one of the things that for me it was like the clues that I got was one of the reasons I really believed it is because when I saw that pieces were like lining up for like the flower to become in play in the NieR world, is one of the things Yokotaro said is one of the main themes in NieR is history repeating itself, and like through the games of NieR and Drakengard you see that a lot. But one of the things that like I really should have noticed before is he doesn't really reuse characters, Yokotaro specifically. Because 2 is under a different director, so that one like we have to treat as a separate entity. But 1, 3 of Drakengard,
he uses. I've seen him use similar kind of motifs and kind of like artistic styles, but not necessarily the same characters.
Yeah, the only like recurring one I believe in NieR is Emil, but Emil is a unique case, and also Accord, because Accord is literally an observer and recorder. She's kind of she's in everything. Like, also, I went fucking deep in. I was reading novellas. I was looking at translated interviews. I was looking up plots of stage plays. Yeah, I was going down timelines on like what events, what branches were happening. I was reading the mangas that I hadn't seen in like years. I was in that, and like it was like even though it turned out to be complete, or it was a mod, so it was nothing official. It really reinvigorated like my love for the lore, and
I mean,
it was a
it
great time.
reinvigorated interest into NieR. Everybody was talking about NieR. It was
Oh yeah,
crazy.
my brother picked up
When
the game.
Yeah, like NieR. I mean, NieR has never been the most popular series up until probably Automata. Automata was the first one to really blow
Oh
up.
yeah, it was a cult classic
Yeah,
before
exactly.
Automata.
So this has been a big thing for the NieR community, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had fucking memes. We had the Mario Church.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
see the Mario Church?
No, there were so many memes of like the church or people remaking it in Roblox and Minecraft. Did you see the pizza meme? Okay, the pizza meme is actually fucking
I haven't.
hilarious.
I don't remember.
Oh,
What was the pizza meme?
okay, let me explain to you. So the pizza meme was when people were waiting for another piece of SadFutago, like in one of the early stages with him in the church, and someone commented on a modder's Twitch stream like, "Hey, I found a way to get in the church," and the streamer had him on, and the guy like didn't say anything. So, oh, I gotta go pick up pizza real quick. He never came back. So then people were like, "Where's the pizza? Where's the pizza?" and so it was just so many memes of like the church, the pizza. Like one of the pictures of the one of the five pictures SadFutago posts. There's a hand. I believe it's Zero's hand, and someone photoshopped a slice of pizza on that photo. Just like the pizza was here all along. Just so much ridiculous stuff happened. It was hilarious to me.
Oh man.
Yeah, I will say now. Oh yeah, no, go on. I'm as bad on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
I'm checking if I said everything right.
So as a marketer, like I love this. I would say that this is a point where Square Enix, I would be shocked, a little bit disappointed if they didn't do anything with this. Like this is a prime example of of a case where you can use guerrilla marketing, which is like kind of taking what's currently happening and like unique situations. And I feel like this is a perfect one that they could capitalize on, could have hopefully that they still can. It's only been a few days, because like there's just so much. Like it was trending like 4 days in a row on Twitter. It's just people were talking about NieR. People who didn't even care about NieR, like hadn't played the game.
Interested. It was getting people interested in NieR. Yeah. Honestly, it's crazy.
And also another thing, even though this wasn't official, I hope game companies can look at cases like this.
Exactly.
Where
it's a group
of 3 people really just kind of put a whole community in.
I'm telling you,
unrest.
I absolutely love ARGs and stuff like this, like internet mysteries. So I'm like, see, people now understand. Like these are so fun. They haven't done a big one in quite a while, so it's like, people do more. It doesn't even take it takes effort, but it's like it's so worth it. It makes like rabid fans out of people.
Mm-hmm.
I
will say it is harder for games, like newer games. I would say it was a little bit easier back then, because I will say people weren't as computer literate, and also I noticed a lot of people did a lot of things physical. Like I think of the Resident Evil. Oh, I want to say it was Resident Evil 4's ARG.
Yeah, they hid body parts all over. Like
Well, they put a whole bunch of. There was like 5 stages on that. There was one where it's a YouTube video. There's like one where it's just like a huge splash art of just a whole bunch of combinations of words and stuff, where people were trying to figure out passcodes to get to the next stage of the website. And that one was really cool. I think I learned about that in a class. And I don't know what's the last crazy one. I think Binding of Isaac had one. You mentioned the Halo. What was it, Halo 3 or Halo 2 one?
Yeah, I think it was Halo 3. It might have been Halo 2. It was I Love Bees. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a whole website thing. What was cool about the Cloverfield one is that it brought in like early social media. So there was like posts on MySpace. Like all the characters from the movie had MySpace profiles. And I think when they went on later on for the 10 Cloverfield Lane one, there was like Facebook profiles and stuff like that, and connections with websites, and it went from website to website to website to website, and it's so fun. And like you would send like there was text chats where you could talk to like the characters from the movie and stuff like that. It went pretty hard. And there used to be because these happened a little bit more often, and there used to be like like this was before Reddit, I think, and there was like actual forums dedicated to these ARGs. So it's like it's fun.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
We need some more.
Yeah,
we need some quality ones.
Some
though.
quality ones, yes, exactly. There's so many places where you could. We need to integrate TikTok with Instagram.
The cool thing on that, like the logs or the events of this one, is they started posting a month ago, and like no hype, but they didn't give up. Like they posted on wait a few days, posted on the NieR Automata game subreddit, and then nothing, not really too much traction, and then it was the NieR subreddit, which is the one I follow, where it got got hit waves.
Yeah, they needed those pictures.
Yep, it was hype. It was a hype week.
Dude, oh man, I had people say, like, people from Canada being like, I got the game, I got the exact same version. let me check this out. There's people that actually did clip through that wall to see if anything was back there. It was obviously they didn't find anything significant, but
that was one of the things that people were like, oh, it has to be on version 1.0 of the Canadian copy or some shit.
Yeah. But it was a whole ride. It was just a lot of fun. I love stuff like that. So that was my bread and butter for me. So.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Would ride again. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 experience. Yeah. No, some people were like upset. Upset.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, it was like they did some cool stuff. It was pretty crazy. So I'd rather have that than advertising for a Switch port that we already knew was coming.
Yeah. For me, the Switch. I didn't even know the Switch port route existed, but to me, that's like the least favorable route for me.
Yeah. Well, people were saying the theory was that there was going to be new content in the Switch version that hadn't been shown in other versions of the game. So this is a teaser for like, oh, this Switch version is actually the most complete version that'll have like even more content. That was maybe the copium that they were on.
Oh man, I was huffing that shit hard in my lore escapades.
Yeah.
Oh, if anyone who has been interested in any of the lore for NieR or Drakengard after listening to this episode, or in general if you like it, look it up. One of the things I would highly recommend is the Grimoire NieR book actually got a English pre-order, which is crazy to me because I never assumed that thing would ever get one. So might want to pick that up. It's an art book, but then also has some short stories which are actually really pivotal to the game and the lore, and kind of some of them retell the story of game scenes while going a little bit deeper into some of the characters' psyches, and then some of them are completely out of the game entirely, and they're supplemental information. So highly recommend. I already pre-ordered it, even though I have the Japanese version, because I didn't
give us that site. Give us that site, Robert.
It's on the Square Enix site. It's on the Square Enix shop. Yeah, I got that, and then I also got a different book. I don't know what the hell that book is, but I bought it because I was feeling myself. I also went on a deep dive trying to find out where my bookmark was from Anime Expo.
Oh.
Found it.
Well, if you lose it, what we gotta do? Just gotta go back to.
I don't know if they'll have that one again. It's from Faku.
Jesus. Oh man!
Wild experience. Oh wait, you can't see it, but I finally got the Nino figurine out. Finally got the first figurine out. Oh, I knew I don't know if I talked about this last week, but I knew I had a shopping problem when 2 of my figurines got delayed, and all I felt was relief. Because when they got delayed a few months, I was like, oh, that gives me some more time. And I was like, I probably have a shopping problem on that end. Luckily, I don't buy figurines anymore. There's a few characters after they drop the figurine, I will begrudgingly accept the charge, but I need to stop that shit.
Well, I think that was the whole experience. Thank you for joining us for that ride. we will see you next week with possibly another guest. So we'll see how that goes.
That was episode 62 of the Virtual Lost podcast. We'll see you next week.
We will see you next week.